we're going to keep on stepping up and making sure that America remains, as it has always been, a place where people who in other parts of the world are subject to discrimination or violence, that they have in America a friend and a place of refuge.
That was President Obama in Kuala Lumpur, obviously talking about the resettlement of Syrian refugees in the U.S. This is an issue that is pitting communities across the U.S. against each other. Questions what to do. So far, 30 governors have pledged to do what they can to stop Syrian immigrants from resettling in their states, while the mayors of at least 18 major U.S. cities say Americans should welcome refugees with open arms. One of them is our next guest, Dallas Mayor Mike Rawlings. Welcome. Good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Mayor, as you know, Governor Greg Abbott has instructed volunteer organizations that settle refugees across the state to stop helping Syrians. He argues the law is on his side. Let me play a little bit of that for you.
Well, as a former Supreme Court Justice and the Attorney General of Texas, as well as being the Governor of Texas, I can tell you what the law says, and that is the law says that these refugee relocation programs have to cooperate with the states. And in order for them to cooperate with the states, they have to follow the instructions that I have provided.
Do you think, Mr. Mayor, that Governor Abbott has a point, that there is legal standing here?
Well, I'll let the courts and the judiciary decide that. Governor Abbott and I agree on so many points. Safety of Texans, safety of Dallasites is paramount in his mind and my mind as well. I would ask those people to consider that words do make a difference in this tough time. How we deal with refugees makes a difference. First of all, we want to get rid of ISIS. We all agree with that. And ISIS wants us to be divided on this issue. ISIS wants us to demonize these Syrian refugees, wants us to alienate these children. We've got to build a coalition of Middle Eastern states, and we need to reach out. They're Muslims, and we've got to use the words carefully to show them that we care about them. ISIS is no more Islamic than the Nazi senior staff was Christian. And so we've got to differentiate between those, fight the fight that we need to do. And it also matters for us as individuals, as citizens of the United States, how we're changing because of this issue. And I think we need to think very careful as a Christ following folks like myself. How would we deal with this issue with strangers, and are we going to let them in?
You were, in fact, quoted in the Dallas Morning News as saying that all of this keeping out Syrian refugees falls into ISIS's trap. What did you mean by that?
Well, just what I just said. They want us to say these are bad people. So other folks in the Gulf states and throughout the Arab world will say, see, they don't like us. And that's not true. These are evil human beings that are doing terrible things, and we need to target our aggression and our plans against them, not children, not refugees. And if we do that, then the true self of America will come forth, the true self of our American cities will come forth, and it'll be easier to pull people together to fight this terrible enemy.
Do you understand, though, the concerns that people have that there could be someone who could slip in with the refugees? How confident are you of the systems that are put in place, whether it's the 8 Syrian refugees who turned themselves in at the border in Laredo, Texas, to the systems that bring people into this country more formally for resettlement? What people on the other side of this argument say is there is no 100% guarantee, and that 1% is what makes them afraid.
Well, and there is never a 100% guarantee. And safety is my #1 concern, as it is Governor Abbott's. We've got to make sure they're safe. This is a 21-step process to get in, 18 to 24 months to jump through these hoops. This is a serious issue. I am more fearful of large gatherings of young white men that come into schools, theaters, and shoot people up, but we don't isolate young white men on this issue. I was out in the streets last night in Dallas looking at a part of town, a great part of town that has had some recent robberies. Those are the things that mayors are concerned about. This is a big issue, and we as a nation must step up and make sure we're secure. But we must not do things that changes the soul of who we are as well.
Dallas Mayor Mike Rawlings, a pleasure to talk to you. Thanks so much for coming on the program.
It's great to be here.